Good morning, Camden.
Hey, Dwayne, how's it going?
It's going.
What are you up to today?
Just standing in the food court in my building where our training center is in Toronto. We've got a 3-day class for salespeople at our academy here. Going to start in about 20, 25 minutes.
Okay. You sound really fired up this morning.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I got my trainer here from the East Coast, and she's getting some additional training for herself to go back and kick ass out there, so it's all good.
Okay, great. So I guess we'll just get started because I know you're pressed for time.
Yeah.
So we have these questions here that came in from social media.
Okay.
And specifically this one question, it was related to episode 2 that we did, where you were talking about how you connected with some of the influencers and authors that inspired you. I kind of did the same thing using social media, and I'm not sure where the state of social was at that time. So I just wanted to know how you did it. And if you can kind of leave out, like if you did use social media, if you can kind of leave that part out of it, because I feel like too many people kind of rely on social media to the point that 100%. It's made them anti-social. So if you can kind of tell me what you did to connect with those people on a real level instead of just through the technology.
Okay. So the social media thing, obviously you can follow people, read their books, that kind of thing. Proximity is power, and proximity is also people. So because people like themselves, that would be me, that would be you, that would be everybody that you know. If I get to know you, I probably get to know your friends, and those friends, if we have similar interests, can connect me to certain things. So one of the things, an individual really wants to do well probably should do is somehow track down these people that they want to meet, because you're not just meeting them, you're meeting people like them, because that's who they're going to hang with and who's going to go to their seminars, and you're creating a proximity and a new circle. So the only way you're going to create that new circle, it's really not going to happen on social media very easily or very well. And if it does, quite honestly, it's often a superficial, fake kind of a relationship.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've done is I will find where they're speaking, where they're signing books. I will, see where their workshops are, and I go through the time, the energy, and expense to get there and meet them, and often just thank them for the influence of their material on my life. And that very often connects me with people either in their circles or the people that, that are so much like me because they want to, learn this type of information, and you create basically a new higher level peer group. So I think everybody, I always fooled around with martial arts a little bit when I was young. I do more yoga now, but I believe everybody needs a master. Everybody needs somebody they're aspiring to. And anything in life you want to get better at, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be financial, could be family, could be spiritual, could be, income, sales, career, yoga, karate. Masters show you the way. And when you get to know these masters or you spend time with them, you're meeting other people that, like to hang around that dojo, like to hang around that particular person. So it's about proximity, Camden.
Awesome. It's actually really interesting how you mentioned that you did martial arts. I can't remember where I read it, but they said a lot of the top CEOs and business people, one of the main things they have in common is a military background and or a martial arts background. So I thought that was or very disciplined in sports is another one, even just general sports, because it creates that mindset, the structure. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And so you're at the Toronto Academy today.
Yep.
And this next question is going to be really related to that, because what you do is you train car salespeople mostly, right? Do you train?
Yeah, that's my core business. I do stuff outside of it. That's my core business. Yep.
Oh, okay. So going into your class where you train your students, and I'm sure you're going to touch on this a bit, and we have kind of touched on this before when me and you have spoken in the past. But for this audience, I really wanted to know, what are some of the major mistakes you see car salespeople specifically making over and over again?
Okay, so I've got Estelle standing right here, and actually we just talked about something on the walk over, and Estelle's just going to give you a number which you can kind of push out on this podcast.
Okay.
She was the number one salesperson in Canada for her brand. And she talked about this number of people that she wanted to be working every day. And if she didn't have that number, she would make that number happen. Estelle, what was that number?
25.
25. So one of the things that salespeople do, if I could point it to a couple things, the 25 is she always wanted 25 working prospects or suspects. And if she didn't have them, she'd go find them, she'd create them. So one of the big problems a salesperson has, they're quite frankly just not in communication with enough people. That'd be a big one. So if your pipeline's not big enough to drive the volume that you want to sell, your opportunities are too low. I don't care how much of a salesperson you are, but you can't close an empty chair.
Okay.
Okay. The second biggest problem I would suggest is they don't pay attention. They don't pay attention to themselves. They don't pay attention to the market. They don't pay attention to their customer. They don't pay attention to their product. They don't pay attention to the changes in the marketplace. Not paying attention would be my second biggest one. Most people are smart enough to figure stuff out if they pay attention. A lot of people don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So setting standards for how you want yourself, your team, and your pipeline to look and perform, and paying attention. And that's actually a really powerful one, because a lot of people, myself included, when I'm speaking to people a lot, my mind's always going, and then I'll have to kind of snap back into things and be like, okay,
right.
We're right here. Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah. And the amount of information you miss along the way is not even funny.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
All right, Dwayne. So did you kind of briefly want to go over what some of the things that you touch on your workshop, since we're kind of on that topic, and then I'll let you go?
Sure. It's a 3-day class. The first day is mostly sales psychology, which is the psychology of the salesperson and the customer and how that kind of relates. Then we get into the importance and how to handle incoming and outgoing phone calls, text messages, video now to sell vehicles or any product that you're selling. Internet leads, how to properly, deal with those people. The face-to-face sales process, once people actually show up, however they get in there. Closing, which is, completing the transaction, and then customer retention, how to get more repeats and referrals. That's really the focus for the next 3 days.
Awesome. Brilliant. All right, Dwayne, well, I'll let you get back to your students. I just want to thank you so much for having me call you and just give so much value to this audience.
Okay. Thanks so much, Cam, and have a great day, buddy.
You too.
Bye-bye.